Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including Riddick 4 is ramping up. We've got some Fantastic Four rumors to address, some MCU headlines in there, and James Gunn talking about Superman. I'll do my Peter Pan and Wendy review today because I saw it over the weekend, and yeah. Let's just start off today's show by talking about the weekend's box office report and Super Mario Bros. Coming in with $1 billion. Wow, that's impressive. Actually, that's pretty good, isn't it? It's good for the business, I think. Super Mario Bros. Triumphs again in fourth weekend, and Are You There, God? Debuts at a dispiriting 6.8. Dispiriting. That sucks. Actually, I saw... Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret over the weekend, and I kind of liked it. Sisu was the only other one that opened up, but we'll take a look at the official record here. This is just what the big trade, they put their stupid numbers in like paragraph form. It sucks. Let's just go over to the Box Office Mojo, and this is the top 5 for the weekend of April 28th to the 30th, week 17 for 2023. Number 1 was Super Mario Bros. Number 2 was Evil Dead Rise. Number 3 was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Number 4 was John Wick Chapter 4. And number 5 was Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Cool, man. The re-release. That re-release didn't play anywhere near me. If I'd known that, I would have gone out to see it myself, and I would have contributed to this 4.6 million it made on this weekend. Star Wars, yeah, man, I don't know why you don't just keep on re-releasing these movies out in the theater. Like, people say that Hollywood's getting tired, there isn't really anything good to see. Well, then keep on doing stuff like this, man. People would go out and see Star Wars. I would. Why not? Especially if you re-release the original trilogy, like take like your nieces and nephews or sons and daughters that haven't seen it yet. Return of the Jedi, I remember seeing it as just a young man, and I was just blown away. The first thing I said coming out of the theater was, let's go watch it again. It was just like, wow. That was cool. But okay, that's in the 5th spot. So Super Mario Bros. 40 million this week, guys, on its 4th week. 40 million on its 4th week. That's great. That's fantastic. So as I said, it did cross the $1 billion mark worldwide, I mean. So 490 domestically, 532 internationally for 1.02 billion. And it's going to take a hit this week for sure, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 opens up. Expect Super Mario Bros. There to, like, it's been dropping around the 33% mark for the last couple of weeks, but that's because there really hasn't been anything huge opening up. I wouldn't call Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret a blockbuster. No, I wouldn't say that. John Wick Chapter 4 is a big blockbuster. Of course, Star Wars is. But Evil Dead Rise, as you can see here, Evil Dead Rise stayed the same. John Wick Chapter 4 stayed the same. Dungeons & Dragons, still lots of fun. So that's what we're looking at here. Evil Dead Rise in the 2nd spot, 62.3 million worldwide. So that's good for it, for horror. Lots of people really enjoyed that. Let's go and take a look at the numbers for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Now, this one is not... This one's going to be tough for international markets for a couple of reasons. Not because it's got a female in it and that's the female lead. It's a coming-of-age story, right? So 6.8 domestically, that kind of sucks, actually, because I think the budget for this was like around 30 million, I heard. Here's why it's not going to play internationally well. And this is going to offend some people out there who have very conservative feelings about this kind of stuff. It's an 11-year-old girl growing up and going through puberty. So it's kind of like some parents want to try to shield their kids from that, like pretend that they don't even go through puberty until like they're 18 or something. In certain countries internationally, that stuff isn't going to fly. Like they're going out to buy feminine napkins and stuff. The far extreme conservative people out there just won't have any of this stuff, right? Plus, and then it's got the also other other angle there that it's this girl's also trying to decide if she wants to be Jewish or a Christian, right? And she's getting pulled in two directions. That's not going to fly internationally either, because a lot of the conservative people out there will be like, oh, how dare you look down your nose at us Jewish people? How dare you say something bad about the Christian people? And it's kind of like, yeah, well, that's part of what this movie's trying to say, right? A young person trying to decide which faith they're going to be, because her father's Jewish and her mother's Christian, kind of thing, right? So it's kind of like looking at that kind of stuff. I thought it was a fairly good movie. I was fairly charmed by it. So 6.8. It may have some staying power. I hope it does. It'll definitely be like one of those cult classic kind of things that'll just it'll gain in notoriety. Girls coming up in North America and more free states around the world will be able to enjoy that film and relate to it. Hopefully. Yeah. John Wick Chapter 4 still hanging in there, 5 million. And then Star Wars there. So the other releases were Ponyin Selvan Part 2, which is that's a Hindi film, right? Or maybe, is it? Or is it Malayalam? I don't know, it doesn't quite say there. That's the other one that was opening up. And Sisu, that's that Finnish kind of like war movie where he's like trying to walk home, and then he comes across some Nazi soldiers, and he like takes them out, discovers gold in Lapland wilderness, and tries to take the loot into one city, and Nazi soldiers see him there, and they're kind of like funny. I want to see it. Maybe I'll try to sneak out to a show on Cheap Tuesday. That's one thing I'm going to have to do. 3.3. Yeah, I do want to see it. So it's not going to come in under the April movies that I'll see. It'll come in under the May movies that I see. Big George Foreman, 3 million. Polite Society was the other one that opened up with only 927 theaters. I thought this was a Hindi movie, but it sounds like it's English speaking. I do want to see that one too. But Sisu, I hear good things about that one. And is that it? 8 Mountains, Nuclear Now, Iron Man. Yeah. Are You There, Margaret? 6.8 million with 3,300 theaters. That means people had the chance to go out and see it. They just didn't, and that sucks. I was hoping that it would at least... I was hoping around the $25 million mark for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And a 6.8 million opening is not going to sit well with the studio executives. So that sucks. That sucks, because as I said, I liked Are You There, Margaret? Okay, so Art Glass Vikings in the live chat says, great for an animated movie to hit 1 billion. Sets the bar high for Mario sequel. Yeah, it does. But if you stayed around and watched the post-credit scenes for Mario, you know that one big character is going to come. You know that Yoshi is going to be on the way, right? Sorry if that's a spoiler alert. It's been out for a month, and if a billion people, if it's made $1 billion, then people have seen it, right? A lot of the multi-screen theaters are releasing classics to bolster revenue. We've had a lot of 80s movies playing in our local theater, and I would go see 80s movies. Like if they had Back to the Future playing, I'd go see that. Why not? Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret will probably do better on the streaming channels. It's not the theater blockbuster that draws up a crowd. Yeah, it's a bummer, because it's a good movie, and you'll see where it ranks in my monthly ranking video that'll come out later today. I'm ranking all the movies that I've seen in April here. So last month. Chris Ober says, how are you doing today? I'm doing good, man. You're excited for the Penguin series. Wondering where the Harry Potter TV series is going to take place. Well, in what direction? What? It's going to be the first book. It's the first book that they're adapting for the first season for Harry Potter. The Robots movie for 2023 just dropped on YouTube 31 seconds ago. What? Robots movie. Official trailer. Well, we've already had a trailer for Robots with Shailene Woodley. I did my reaction to it. God, Shailene Woodley. If a new, somehow like a second trailer just dropped, we'll take a look at it towards the end of the show. Guys, if you don't know how this works, we do a live show, 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday and Friday, sometimes Wednesday as well, depending on how much news there is to talk about. And there are my other social media handles that you can find. Yeah, hey, you know those little shorts that we publish sometimes? Sometimes you can find extended versions of those on TikTok and Instagram. So elsewhere on the channel you can find my review for that movie, Are You There, God? And then of course Grumpy Man Reacts we had last week. We do movies like Clone Wars. We just did Peter Pan and Wendy. We finished up Mandalorian. We're still going strong on Survivor Season 44. We do the Horror Weekly Roundup on the weekend where we talked about a whole bunch of sequels with Smile 2, Conjuring 4, The Pope's Exorcist 2, yes, and hey, everything movie news here. Movie trailer reactions, straight out of the theater reactions, full movie watch-alongs. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, man, come check us out here because you're going to like it, and hit that thumbs up on. We've got a good community of people here in the live chats. Bifer says, I saw Beau is Afraid. Wow, this movie knocked me out. You're not wrong with your review. Oh yeah, about the length. That movie just suffered because of the length. It had some really good ideas in there. Ari Aster is a talented... How do I word this? Because he had gold with Hereditary. He's good at composing shots. Shot composition. He suffers when it comes to execution of the story in the editing room, because a lot of that movie should have been cut out because it didn't drive the story forward. It was just a side mission with a family that seems to be taking care of him and other people with PTSD. It's kind of like, well, how does that add on to the story? What does it do? It doesn't really do anything other than fill the whimsy of Ari Aster, right? Anyway, we talked. Wait to see where Beau is Afraid is going to rank on my ranking video later on today that I'll publish for the month of April. You guys can pretty much guess where it's going to rank. And I'm not alone in that sentiment. I'm not. Let's go over and talk about James Gunn, Superman. Who should replace Henry Cavill as Superman? James Gunn shares what he's looking for. And we also have some headlines here too. James Gunn is going to stand with the writer's strike that's going to happen apparently, which is not good, which means that he's going to halt work on the Superman project. Even though I thought he was already done with the script and he had just handed it off to the casting directors and booking agents and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know why he would just put a pause to it if the story's already done. But we know that Henry Cavill's not coming back. Let's just take a look at what he's going to be looking for in this article. Quote, it's hard, but we're looking, and we actually have some great choices, which I'm excited about, but it has to be someone who has all the humanity of Superman has, but he's also an alien. It's going to be someone who has the kindness and the compassion that Superman has, and it has to be someone that you're going to give a hug. What? Trust me, a lot of people want to give Henry Cavill a hug. Yeah. I mean, God, have you watched his video of him putting together his computer, his gaming PC? My God, people were melting over that video. Drooling is a better word. But anyway, some fans have already started suggesting dream actors, including Michael B. Jordan, Glenn Powell. However, Peacemaker creators' comments suggested that casting process is still in its early stages, and there may be some surprises in store as he continues to solidify exactly what kind of story he wants to tell with Superman. Some other fan castings were Dr. Montgomery, David Cornsweet. Yeah, we took a look at Cornsweet. I think he was one of my choices. I'm always looking for possible new ones. Yeah, Cornsweet is a possibility, I think. Nicholas Hoult. No, I think he'd be better for the Batman role. Austin Butler. No, he's too big. Jacob Elordi, as I said, you want somebody in their 20s. I would dismiss anybody who's over their 30s. Don't even bother talking about Glenn Powell. Jacob Elordi, he does, but his profile is different. His face, he looks like a Clark Superman there, but his profile image, it doesn't line up. Like his face looks a little too flat, like this kind of flat. Um, I'm sure they can work. Why is he in his boxers there, for crying out loud? I don't want to get into trouble here. Yeah, but this is a possibility. You can't quite see it there, but yeah, his face is really flat on the side. I don't know if that would translate. I don't know. It's possible, but those are just some of the possibilities that Gunn is looking at. Just a quick quote that doesn't really say that much. I know, but it's people are going to be talking about it. Superman. It's not really that much, right? Who should replace Henry Cavill? I think we all have our picks that who we would like to see. Yeah. Talking about James Gunn. Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Chris Pratt and his future in the MCU. Now, this might be slight spoiler. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out this week, guys. I'm seeing it on Thursday. I think I'm seeing it Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll be able to give my straight out of the theater reaction like around 6:30, 7 o'clock-ish. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, not necessarily the end of the road for Chris Pratt. Well, is that spoiler in the fact that he's going to survive Guardians of the Galaxy 3? He's not necessarily at the end of this road, because we know that James Gunn has come out and said that this will be the last time that we see the Guardians of the Galaxy with this iteration. Like, this cast is going to be done after this, right? A Weaver says in the live chat, "Hi guys, I can't stay long, but I wanted to pop in. I'm really worried about the writer's strike, by the way." Yeah, we were just talking about that and how James Gunn is going to he's going to stand with this writer's strike, and that's why Superman's going to get paused. I hope it doesn't happen, and if it does happen, hopefully they can resolve it quickly. But going back to Chris Pratt and the MCU, I don't think that gives it a spoiler, because now that they're dealing with multiverse storylines, Chris Pratt's character, like Star-Lord, could die, but they'll just bring him back in some other fashion, I think. I hope they don't. But for me, going in, I think that it's going to be Rocket and Drax will be the ones that die. Hopefully him and Gamora have a happily ever after kind of story. Or him and Nebula realize that they want to be in love. No, I don't think that'll happen, but we'll have to see. He's open to returning as the intergalactic hero. Let's see what he said in an interview. Quote, "That's so daunting. That's the reason to not do it. I think I would have. It's so elegant and perfect right now, the 3 films to think of moving forward. It's really hard. And without James, I don't know what would work. I'm open for it, but man, I don't know." Well, he's worked with the Russo brothers when the Guardians appeared in the Avengers movies, but he seemed to be fair there. But I think Gunn's not. I think he said a few things where he wasn't too happy with how the Russo brothers treated the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was kind of like meh in the Avengers movies. But hey, that's the cost of being in the MCU. What else is the cost in being in the MCU? Let's talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and the amount of rewrites that it went through. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness went through 33 rewrites. Unbelievable. Xochitl Gomez has revealed that the script had gone through 33 rewrites. What the heck? That's a lot. That's high. You all need to stop hating on Michael Waldron. They asked for 33 rewrites. None of this is up to him. Yeah, because you write something and then the executives are like, "Well, I don't like that. What if he drinks an A&W instead of a Dr. Pepper?" Change that in the script. Like, that qualifies as a script rewrite if you change something like that. But it's like everybody's got their studio notes in this kind of like, here you got to make it. That's why I wouldn't want to make an MCU film. I think I could drive the machine to make it, but it's be kind of like, you brought me on to bring the story to life, and then now you're feeding me all these other notes that, like, as I said, even before we start shooting, like, the script has to be locked, and this is the main story, right? As far as rewrites and dramatically changing the story, I'm not up for that kind of stuff. Did Multiverse of Madness suffer because of all the rewrites? Maybe. it did feel slapped together. There was an element of it that did feel slapped together. But we know that it did go through some troubles getting to the big screen, because originally Scott Derrickson was going to come back, but he wanted to make it much more horrific. He wanted to actually take it to that level of horror, right? But then the studios were like, nah, we're not doing that. And then Scott Derrickson said, no, I'm not doing the sequel to Doctor Strange. Because he did the first one, right? And then that's when they brought in Sam Raimi, who I think did an okay job with it. But I didn't like it because they did Wanda dirty. Hmm. Yeah, Glass says 33 rewrites. That's exhausting. Probably affected the quality and diluted the impact for sure. Felt like, yeah, diluted. That's a good way to phrase it. Glass, that they diluted it, because you just stray so far from what the original premise was that you greenlit the story on, right? The backbone. 33 rewrites for Doctor Strange too. Yeah. All right, we got some more MCU headlines to talk about with Fantastic Four rumors. Now, a bunch of rumors came out with Mila Kunis over the weekend too. A Weaver says they got to go, so peace. Have a good day there, A Weaver. Thanks for coming in, dropping by. Yeah. So Mila Kunis had a whole bunch of quotes over the weekend saying that she knows who's been cast, but it's not going to be her, because people were thinking that it was either going to be Mila Kunis or Kirsten Bell is going to be the Invisible Woman. Kirsten Bell would have been cool. She would have been cool, but I think she's a little bit too old for what they may be going for. But if they got Adam Driver as Mr. Fantastic, then Kirsten Bell would be, right around that perfect age. I could see that. But Kirsten Bell, I don't know. Mila Kunis was the front runner for a while there. Shortly, it was reported that Adam Driver was in final talks. I don't know if Adam Driver wants to do that, though, because he's come out publicly and said that because of Star Wars, he doesn't want to go to any more of these conventions, these cons, like Comic-Con and stuff, because he felt like he was held hostage in the hotel room, and then you can't really talk to the fans and give away too much. He didn't like the experience. So signing up for Reed Richards means that, oh man, you're going to be getting a whole lot more of those Comic-Con and conventions that you would be signing up for. I don't know. The director is going to be Matt Shakman. We know that's been known for a while. But I don't know. This should be revealed pretty soon, because we know that this is coming down the works. And MCU hasn't been having a great track record newsworthy-wise for a while, so it's kind of like, blow us away. Tell us that you got Adam Driver and someone cool, like a Kirsten Bell, to play Sue Storm. That would be cool. There was some other rumors that Paul Mescal was offered the Human Torch over the weekend. People are just they're fishing right now. People are fishing to see what sticks. They're throwing out their rod, their hooks. Oh, is it Mila Kunis? Is it Mila Kunis going to be our Invisible Woman? Let's throw out these headlines to see if they respond, and if they do, then it's going to give us a clue. That's what I mean by fishing, right? Well, she's good friends with Kirsten Bell, just saying. Yeah, people are just trying to put two and together, because people are excited for this. People want to know, right? But it's also one of those things that once they reveal the cast, there's going to be a certain contingent of them that'll pick up their nose and go, "Ooh, no, I don't like that casting. You should have cast this person instead," right? Arglass says Kaylee Cuoco would be my Invisible Woman. Kaylee Cuoco. That would be cool. That would be cool. She just had a kid too, right? So, yeah, congrats to her. When is this Fantastic Four movie supposed to be coming out? Scheduled to be released February 14th, 2025. So we're still like a year and 10 months? A year and 10 months? Just under 2 years. 8 months away. They're going to be shooting it this year, I would think. They got to be shooting it this year. It was reported for a 2024 release. And that'll be like the end of phase 5 of the MCU, right? We got to get something here. Obviously, people have come to terms to accept that it's not going to be John Krasinski. It's not going to be Emily Blunt. So they're just throwing up other names out there just to let you know that, yeah, I saw the headlines that Mila Kunis said that she knows who it is. So she's basically saying that the studio has committed to who the actors are going to be for the Fantastic Four. They're just waiting to announce it, which is not that difficult to believe. Same thing with like Superman. I think they've already cast it. They're just waiting to announce it, I suppose. For some reason I don't yet comprehend. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I just got to wet the old whistle there. Let's talk about some Riddick 4 news. Did you guys like the Riddick movies? Did you like Pitch Black? Pitch Black was really good. Chronicles of Riddick was a little meh. And I kind of like their attempt to go back to the roots of it with the third Riddick movie. And also because it had Katie Sackhoff in it, which I really appreciated. But Riddick 4, Riddick Furiosa, reveals new look. Now, it's not a new look, guys. If you follow Vin Diesel's social media, you can see that it's just some conceptual art. That's all it is. So Vin Diesel has a big following over there on Instagram, 92 million followers. And we got some conceptual art. I don't know what this is, if this is lightning or something. It seems to be going up his arm. If he's going to be able to wield or throw lightning. That's all it is. New look for some conceptual art of Furia, right? Yeah, Riddick Furia. When is this going to come out? I don't know. There is no release date or production date yet for Riddick 4. No. There is none. Oops, sorry. Riddick Furia does not yet have a release date and is currently in pre-production. David Tuhoy is going to be back. He directed the first one, right? And I think the second one. Did he do all of them? I don't know. Can't remember. But it's not important, James. Yeah, of course it's important. If you want to pay respects, if you're a Furia fan or Riddick fan. I didn't realize how much they changed the mythos of it, though, just to create his character. It is his best franchise for me, and then it's Fast and the Furious. That's the way that I look at it. Triple X is just, ugh. I don't know what the heck that is. Chris Schober says, Kathleen Kennedy just had an interview on YouTube talking about next Star Wars 2025 film called Star Wars Rey movie. Yeah, the Rey movie is supposed to be for 2025, which is still mind-boggling to me. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We got some Star Wars headlines. Cast announcements are usually more impactful at Comic-Con panels, so here's to San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. Here it is. I don't know. Let's get into those Star Wars headlines. Let's talk about Lindelof, because he was going to be writing this story for Star Wars, and apparently it was going to be an older Rey story, where it was going to take place like many years after the events of Rise of Skywalker, and it was going to be played by, well, they touted the possibility of like a Helen Mirren playing an older Rey and training a male and a female in the ways of the Jedi. But that's not what Kathleen Kennedy wanted. She wanted Daisy Ridley back, which doesn't make sense to me, because you might as well just come out and call it episode 10 then, because of course episode 10 and 11 and 12 should be with her. That's what I don't get. But apparently, like, Kathleen Kennedy wants to die on this hill of Rey for some reason. It's a character that's part of what divided Star Wars fans, right? because she learned the Force so quickly. They didn't explain how she figured out to do things like what Master Jedis spend years trying to do, and she just learned to do it just like that. So, like, all the explanation, oh, well, because she's a Palpatine. And it's like, okay, well, you just ruined, you just divided the fan base by saying that she has all these powers freakishly, and then the explanations of it were kind of like, yeah, it's because you didn't spend the time developing and crafting the story, right? Anyway, you know where I stand on that. Lucasfilm made the right call keeping Daisy Ridley as Rey. Yeah, I think they did. I agree, but I just believe that it should be called Episode 10. Lindelof script pivoted and took a very different approach. Kathleen Kennedy wanted Daisy Ridley back 15 in a movie 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. So she's going to be 15 years older. So let's say she was in her 20s. She'd be like in her late 30s. So she's going to be playing older in the new Jedi Order, meaning the canon version where Rey will found the new Jedi. Okay. Ridley is a strong actor, although sadly let down by scripts in the sequel era. That is an understatement. Ugh. She doesn't deserve to be dumped in the matter. 60-year-old time jump would have been to introduce another problem. It would have meant John Boyega's Finn would never had the opportunity to use the Force, damaging his arc. And there's no word yet if John Boyega is going to be in that Rey film or not. You would think that because he's Force sensitive that she would train him as they're the friends, right? But Star Wars dodged a bullet. Latest rumors suggest Lindelof would have repeated sequels mistakes by what? The sequel's biggest mistake was that they didn't write all 3 films out first. That's the biggest mistake. Yeah. See what these mistakes are. Lindelof's Star Wars film would have wasted Daisy Ridley's Rey. I don't know about that. 60-year time jump would have been even worse than the sequels. Yeah. But you see, the cloud. This dark cloud is hanging over it, and I don't know why they want to go back to this well, thinking that it wasn't Rey that made the sequel trilogy make $1 billion. It was the brand and the fact that you were going to have Mark Hamill in the Trinity Return with Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. But then you do stupid things like not have them in the same scene together. I don't understand. Like, yeah, we've been down that road before, guys. Yeah. So Lindelof's off anyway. The Rey story is going to be coming out 2025 for sure, and we'll just have to leave it at that to see how that is going to shake things up. All right, what's next? Ariel, Little Mermaid. Ooh, let's take a look at this. I'm rooting for the Little Mermaid. I truly am. Halle Bailey's Ariel doll is already a huge bestseller, and it's a huge sign the backlash didn't win. Well, that still remains to be seen. The backlash, yes, there are a bunch of bigoted people out there that simply don't like her because she's not Caucasian. I think Halle Bailey is a tremendous actress with the voice that I think is going to do this justice. My biggest reservation about this is that it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. You've somehow added an extra hour of story to it. And I think it should have been easily, I think it should be an hour and a half film. That's what I think. We just watched Peter Pan and Wendy, and that was an hour and a half. That came in, that's what children's movies should be. You should be aiming for that hour and a half. 2 hours is just kind of like, my God. But anyway, this doll is bestseller, huh? $14.97. So I pulled it up there on the old Amazon. Oops. Did I just give my name away? No, I'm not signed in. Good. Yeah. There it is. 21 bones. Yeah. So it's a bestseller, huh? That's what the Ariel doll looks like. Um, they like to think that that's a precursor that the backlash hasn't went. But as we get closer to this movie, you're still going to see a bunch of YouTube videos out there of the hate mongers, the outrage culture bandwagons they're already circled around it. They're going to be launching all their attack pieces and stuff over the weekend, and you saw that grotesquely with the events of Peter Pan and Wendy this weekend too. That they were out attacking it, and I could bet they didn't like the trailers, but they're going to sit down and watch the movie anyway, just so they can make content out of it and say that I'm outraged that they changed certain things. And it's like, well, you guys know where I stand on that kind of stuff. I still give it a fair shake, and that's what I did with Peter Pan and Wendy, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with Little Mermaid. All right. Talking about Peter Pan and Wendy, I guess we can get into that stuff. We're going to do my review for it here. Disney finally fixes Peter Pan's controversial Tiger Lily story after 70 years. Yeah, they did her justice. She didn't live with the Lost Boys or anything. She had her own nation that she went back to. It would have been nice to see a little bit more of Neverland, like the rest of the other communities and stuff. It kind of glossed over that. So, yeah. Casting was good on that part. Tiger Lily links the Native American tribe in real life. Yeah, because they were talking Cree in the film. Actually, I should probably just talk about that in my review. All right, let's just set up for that. Because this is not going to be a long review, guys. It's not going to be long. Because most people aren't going to be searching for it. It's not going to get much traction. Not that my movie reviews don't get a whole lot of traction anyway. It's because I think YouTube struggles to figure out which audience to send it to. All right. Let's get into it. Peter Pan and Wendy is on Disney Plus, and should you go out and see it, or should you put it up on your TV screens? Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't hate this movie, and that's a step in the right direction, right? A lot of people didn't like the trailers for this. They said there's casting issues in this. I didn't have anything wrong with the casting. I didn't know if it was going to be like a retelling of it, like a requel, but it sort of was. It was based on J.M. Barrie's novel Peter and Wendy and inspired by the 1953 animated classic. So it took elements from two things there. Peter Pan and Wendy is the timeless tale of a young girl who, defying her parents' wishes to attend a boarding school, travels with her two younger brothers to the magical Neverland, where she meets a boy who refuses to grow up in Peter Pan. Now, Wendy is played by Ever Anderson, daughter of Mila Jovovich, who was in Fifth Element, and she really looks like her mother. Jude Law is Captain Hook in this, and Alexander Moloney is Peter Pan. So, it deals with a couple of issues in there with the mother and daughter, like Wendy, kind of like being a little bit rebellious, refusing to take on certain responsibilities, but then she goes to one Neverland there and learns that, yeah, she wants to be a little bit more mature and stuff like that and take on a little bit more responsibility. So I like that stuff. There were some really good ideas between Peter Pan and Hook. Like they were once friends and then Hook grew up, but they just kind of lacked in their execution of that. I felt like they didn't do enough to establish that as a storyline that could have had like the payoff. Like it's kind of like they had the payoff for the big scene between Peter Pan and Hook. Like, you used to be my friend. That kind of stuff. And they didn't set that up properly in the story. To have that big payoff in the end where I should have felt that, right? That's what I mean that it lacked in its execution. So let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people were saying about this. 67% by the critics, 20% by the audience. Now, because it's on Disney Plus, I don't know if the audience have to actually prove that they've seen it, so I wouldn't really trust the audience score on this, because this is a movie where people did watch the trailers for this, and then the backlash regime, the outrage culture, cancel culture regime came out and said, oh, you changed some of the Lost Boys to include some girls in it. It's kind of like, you are changing my childhood. And it's like, get out of here with that nonsense. The Lost Boys didn't really play that big part of the story, so I don't see why you're getting your feathers ruffled in this. You made Peter Pan someone of color. You made Tinkerbell someone of color. But actually, I really liked what they did with Tinkerbell in this. I thought it was really good casting in that respects. Yeah, there's Wendy. And I felt like she did a good job too. I was like, wait a minute, she's holding her own with Jude Law as an actress. So she's got a talented future ahead of her. This Ever Anderson. Tiger Lily. Yes, we just talked about this. Tiger Lily, they did her justice in this one. She didn't live with the Lost Boys or anything like that. And she actually spoke Cree in this. So I kind of respected that. And we saw scenes with her going off to live with her own nation. But I felt like while they were in Neverland, we never really got to go out and experience all the other places in Neverland, because you got the impression towards the end that, yes, they were trying to drive home that Peter Pan and Captain Hook are necessary elements to Neverland. We just don't know how, because we don't see those other places. How does Peter Pan affect Tiger Lily's nation? How does Hook affect the commerce and stuff like that in Neverland? Like, they're pirates and stuff, but you don't really get to see that. And it just felt like it was missing a note here and there for me. It's from the director who did The Green Knight and such. So at certain times, the shot composition in it was breathtaking. Like his choice of shots, especially a lot of the flying stuff. A lot of the flying stuff mixed in with some of the backgrounds, like the plates that they were using, it worked for me. And of course, yeah, them riding horses out along this coastline, which was beautiful. My biggest criticism when we did our full live watch along for it was that look where they are. It's like this, if they did some color correction here and made the greens pop, like really like vibrant, then I think that would have helped to establish Neverland. But everything had this kind of washed out color grading to it that I felt kind of took away from it a little bit. And I think they were trying to do that because they were trying to hide the fact that they shot a lot of this on green screen stages, or what we commonly know now as the volume. So I felt like Jude Law was a decent Captain Hook. I think he was having fun with that role. He wasn't my criticism in it. It was just mostly story issues. I like what they did with the crocodile too. I thought he was going to get him at the end. Oh, sorry. Well, you guys know how that's supposed to work, right? Overall, guys, my thoughts for Peter Pan and Wendy on Disney Plus, I think is worth watching. On Disney Plus, it is worth watching because it's on Disney Plus. You're not paying anything more or extra for it. It's a quick 90 minutes. I wouldn't give it a low as a 20%, but I think I gave it a 6.5 in my review for it that I did at the end of my full live watch along that's up on the channel now. I think I gave it a 6.5 because it does have some story issues in there. It's not something that I would jump back to go watch again, but it's nowhere near as terrible as some people out there, as the outrage culture people will try to convince you that it is. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Peter Pan and Wendy. If you guys seen it, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains. All right, so that'll be cut out and put up on the channel later on. Let's take some live comments here. Pfeiffer says the biggest problem with Peter Pan and Wendy, the kids were boring and the film didn't take risks. Yeah. It had some good set pieces though. It did. Like when they're in the cave there and they're tying up the kids to the rock and stuff. Peter Pan and Wendy was very good. I recommend it. Yeah. Yeah, it's something that's not too offensive. Like, I didn't find it that offensive. I didn't feel like it was too distracting. It was interesting. That's all you think you can do when you look at these different interpretations of things, is that when you're looking at how they adapt this type of material, it's kind of like, I'm just looking to see what they do different and stuff like that by making Tinkerbell not talk and stuff like that. That's what you're looking for. And I like that stuff. Did this Peter Pan, his iteration, make me go, wow, you got to check out this guy's Peter Pan? Not really. He was just there. I think he did what he was supposed to do. It just didn't, his pan didn't jump off the page at me, right? Okay, so where are we at? Let's get into some hit or miss headlines. A hit means if it's a hit, we talk about it. If it's a miss, we move on. All right, let's get into it. Netflix lands Adam McKay movie starring Robert Pattinson. Cool, man. And Amy Adams. Wow, I like Amy Adams. It's also going to have Forrest Whitaker and Danielle Deadwyler for a movie called Average Height, Average Build. Adam McKay. Of course, we know Adam McKay. He just did Don't Look Up. That's on Netflix. The Big Short. So he likes to take a certain political angle on all of his projects. McKay wrote the script and will direct the feature. Actors attached are Robert Pattinson, who will play Money-Eyed Killer. So he's going to play a killer. Fascinating. And Amy Adams is going to be playing a lobbyist. Fascinating. Let's see what it says. Titled The Average Height and Average Build, the project is being described as a part serial killer thriller, part comedy that follows a killer who uses political lobbyists to change laws in order to make it easier for him to kill. Wow, that's far out there. So he gets lobbyists to get like Congress people to change laws so that he can kill easier. And Pattinson's going to be playing the killer. Fascinating. Huh, it's going to be on Netflix. That's kind of a hit. McKay's kind of a hit and miss for me. I didn't like The Big Short. It was too much of the documentary style for me. Don't Look Up was okay. It had its funny moments. You watched it mostly because of the cast, because of DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, right? Or at least I did. Meh. What's next? You don't want to load up for me. Damn. Why don't you want to load up for me? Okay, talking about directors. Wes Anderson directing Star Wars. AI trailer mimicking filmmakers' style divides social media. Yeah, I saw this this morning on my feed. They were somebody posted like a mock-up of what Star Wars would be like under Wes Anderson. Of course, we know Wes Anderson is going to be doing Asteroid City, but he also did things like Grand Budapest Hotel and stuff like that. So they did a mock-up of it. And I can't watch it here just because I don't want to get copyright claimed or striked. But we'll take a look at some of the screenshots. If you know his style. Yeah. So it's kind of like somebody did a fan makeup of this. The different colors and stuff like that. The color palette of a Wes Anderson movie. The Galactic Menagerie, a Star Wars story. And he's got all of his token cast members in there of a Wes Anderson movie. His aesthetic matches. Yeah. Timothée Chalamet is going to be Luke Skywalker, I think. The different lightsabers. Thermal detonator. And a paper plane. Because you like whimsy. Boba Fett's going to be in there? Cool. There's their take on Jabba, looking like a big toad. Yeah, it's funny, man. What is this up on Curious Refuge? So I can give a shout out to that channel if you want to go watch it. I think it's Timothée Chalamet. That's supposed to be R2D2? No, that's R2D2. Timothée Chalamet as Luke. Yeah, so remember, these are just AI generated images. Edward Norton as Han Solo. Bill Murray as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. Yeah. Jeff Goldblum as the Emperor. I could see that. Why not? Actually, I'd be kind of up for this. See, now this is what I mean by having stories with like different directors adding their interpretations to it. This, I would check this out. This would be totally hilarious. Adrian Brody as Chewbacca, and who did they? Owen Wilson as Darth Vader. Yeah, so as you can see, they're trying to mimic that style that the trailers for Asteroid City have, with the washed out yellows and stuff like that. A Wes Anderson film, May the Force Be With You. Yeah, in his style. Let's see what people are saying about this. I want to see this so much more than any contemporary official Star Wars project. Yeah. Oddly enough, I would see this over the Rey movie. And talking about recasting the original people, you could. Yeah, why not? And do it in such a far out different way. Owen Wilson, as Darth Vader says, saying "wow" is hilarious. Yeah, I'd watch this crazy. Love how it perfectly fits in the Star Wars universe. I love it for making it. Yeah, it was just an interesting little thing that showed up this morning, and just to be aware of it, because we're movie fans, right? I totally recommend that you go check it out. Wes Anderson's Star Wars. That's kind of a hit for me. That's kind of a hit. Willie Nelson's 90th birthday is smoking with Snoop Dogg, George Strait, and Neil Young among party favorites at Hollywood Bowl. Neil Young was there, huh? Wow. 90 years old. Willie Nelson with Snoop Dogg on stage. Wow. I didn't think that would happen. Talking about saying wow, James. I never that. What kind of a performance would that be? I want to check this out. But a lot of people came up to wish him happy birthday. 90 years old, and he's still getting up there. I think his hands would hurt, but whatever. Hey, man, keep going strong, man. That's what I say. That's kind of a hit. For me, it is. What's next? Alien TV show finds its lead actress. Cool. Yeah, aside from the new Alien movie that's supposed to be coming out, where it's about a bunch of teens on a planet that find the xenomorph, there's also going to be a show coming out. Noah Hawley's secretive Alien TV show at FX has found its star, with Sydney Chandler will lead the show. The report mentions that Chandler's character is in the Alien TV show is still unconfirmed, leaving her role in the series shrouded in so much mystery as the overall show itself. Yeah, says Jeff Snyder on the podcast there with Roca. I need to watch that. I guess I need to start watching that because Snyder's been getting lots of the big scoops. And he's been getting them right. So I guess maybe I need to start dialing it in and start watching that show as well. Not that I'm doing something similar, because it's just me gabbing in front of the microphone, but whatever. I'm still curious about this Alien project. And who the heck is Sydney Chandler? She was in Giant Freaking Robot. Okay. Star in the Alien TV series. Fascinating. 27 years old. What else has she been in? Don't Worry, Darling. She was Violet. Okay. Well, I seen Don't Worry, Darling. Didn't recognize her. Didn't recognize her because I wasn't looking for her. Really, not that much stuff. Fascinating. Sydney Chandler. Wow. Gotta take a look at that. That's all I got in the can for today, guys. A Weaver says the biggest problem. Peter Pan and Wendy was very good. Byford also says, imagine Del Toro remaking Peter Pan and Wendy. Yeah, now that would be cool. That, he would breathe life into the universe. Like, even with, like, his Pinocchio, you got the sense of the scope of the towns and stuff, right? You got the sense of the world that it takes place in. With Peter Pan and Wendy, they just went to one section of Neverland, like those islands. And then there was the ocean. And then that's it. Like, you never got to see the scope of the impact of Neverland, right? Like in Hook, where they go into the town and stuff like that, and you see the impact of what Hook had on the commerce and stuff, right? But yeah, that Del Toro would definitely handle that material well. Okay. That's pretty much all I got in the can for today. So I thought we would just wrap things up by taking a look at the Twitterverse. And remember, later on today, I'm publishing my best to worst list of April movies, and I've seen 8 in April. So that, again, is going to be a jam-packed list to try to get in under a minute. That's why it's really worthwhile to go over and check out my other social media handles, because I got you'll see the extended version of my ranking list will be on TikTok and Instagram. I'm just trying to see if I missed any other big headlines, and I don't think that I did, because I'm not seeing it. Checking to see if I'm not seeing anything. All right, let's go over to the old Twitterverse. See if I missed anything. See if any new trailers had dropped. New documentary about Menendez, Netflix. Okay, Menendez brothers. Is that true crime? Monster. Okay, the next season of Ryan Murphy's Netflix anthology Monster, because they did Dahmer first, right? Lyle and Eric Menendez story. People really like it. I liked aspects of Dahmer, but I felt gross watching it, right? Because it's kind of like they were trying to. They say they weren't, but they did try to humanize Dahmer to the point where you felt bad for him at the end, and I didn't like that. All right, what's this? First look at Mia Goth in Maxine. Cool. Let's take a look at this. I do like Mia Goth. And Maxine is the third film in the X-Pearl trilogy. And Halsey. Cool. Wow. You can barely even recognize that that's Mia Goth. She's tall, isn't she? She would be a good Poison Ivy. Oh, wow. Wow. And that's Halsey? Wow, looks like she's playing like a woman of the night. Maybe they're just on set shooting, because we know that she's going to Hollywood to become a star. Yeah. Okay, cool. We hear this one's going to be like a superhero kind of flick. I don't know about that, since the first two were kind of like horrific, right? More Succession because it debuted. Trailer for Gran Turismo tomorrow, guys. That's cool. So pay attention for that tomorrow. We will be doing a full trailer reaction for Gran Turismo for sure. That's Neil Blomkamp. Looking forward to that. Orlando Bloom. Car movie. Yes, guys. Yes. Gran Turismo. Looking forward to that. Damon Lindelof says he was asked to leave the Star Wars project that he was set to write and direct. Yeah, because he was going to do that Rey story that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to keep Daisy Ridley, which we know that because we just talked about that. Okay. Just sidestep here. I want to see why Scream 7 is trending. Do we miss an announcement? If Scream 7 gets announced, who do you want to see going forward? Oh, so it's not announced. People are just talking about it. Okay, what's up next? Michael Cole, Florence Pugh, and Halle Bailey at the Met Gala. Was that last night? The Met Gala? Nicholas Hoult. We just saw him in Renfield. And we just watched him in The Menu. What the heck? All right. For some reason, that window collapsed on me. That was weird. Oh, we'll just have to go back to that spot. Yeah, Nicholas Hoult. Renfield is on VOD tomorrow. Wow, that was a very short run, wasn't it? Because it just came out there in April. How to blow up a pipeline. Yeah, that one's the one that kind of got, they were trying to edit stuff out because it was giving people ideas how to blow up pipelines. Little Mermaid starring Halle Bailey officially debuts in theaters this month. Yeah, we know that. I'm looking forward to that. 2023 Met Gala. Okay, the Met Gala is today. So tonight, there's going to be the big people out with their weird abstract dressing on and stuff, right? Happy Met Gala Day. There's Timothée Chalamet there. That's from last year because it's tonight, right? Morning show has been renewed. Michaela Cole arrives at Met Gala pre-dinner. Oh, the pre-dinner was last night. A new episode of Succession. Patti LuPone says she is not familiar with the MCU despite starring in the upcoming Agatha Coven of Chaos. I'm still not familiar with it. I had to watch WandaVision twice to figure it out. She had to watch it twice. Well, if you're not caught up in the MCU, then WandaVision won't mean that much to you. And especially the powerful parts of WandaVision. I still get goosebumps when Monica turns to Wanda in that moment of clarity and she says, your brother was killed by Ultron. I still get goosebumps even now thinking about that. And because that's like one of the first big moments where it's like, Wanda's doing this, isn't she? She's trying to mask her pain with all of this stuff, right? And that reveal, like, you just thinking about it, just wow. So if you're not caught up in the MCU and you know that, like lines like that, which are big, powerful moments, right over your head, you wouldn't know it. Or seeing Vision with the Infinity Stone pulled out of his socket. Yeah. August 8th, Only Murders in the Building Season 3. Met Gala is tomorrow. Mickey 17. This is not the way that he's going to be playing the killer in that Adam McKay movie, is it? With his hair all spiky like he's in some kind of anime film? Maybe it is. Although it hardly looks like if he's playing the killer in this is what he's looking like as the killer in average height, average build. How does a person like that influence lobbyists to make changes in laws so that he can kill easier, right? Maybe that's his alter ego. You would think that he'd be more like the Bateman, Patrick Bateman, like out of American Psycho kind of thing, for influencing lobbyists to change laws. Well, I don't know. Maybe I got a wrong take on that. Martin Downey Jr. is going to be in it as well. Yeah, that was in the article too. In that Adam McKay movie. Ida Manzoor's Polite Society is now playing in theaters. The film holds a run score of 91%. Citadel. Happy birthday to Kirsten Dunst. That was yesterday, right? Happy birthday to her. She's a good actress. I do like her work. Super Mario Bros. Has grossed over $1 billion. Yeah, there we go. 1 billion. We can wrap it up with that. Okay, guys. That's all I've got in store for today. There really isn't that much more to talk about other than the devastating losses by two. By the Boston Bruins yesterday. Boston Bruins and Colorado Avalanche lost yesterday, so they're eliminated. Yeah, that's like I thought the Boston Bruins and I thought the Colorado Avalanche were going to be. I thought they were going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals this year. They're both eliminated in the first round. Well, that's what makes hockey so competitive, I suppose. That's what it's like. You can't say that like the Boston Bruins had the best record in the regular season, so it's kind of like they were the best record, and they lost in the first round by a wild card team. So my Leafs are taking on the Florida Panthers there. The Seattle Kraken beat the Avalanche. So that's Kraken versus Stars. I would assume the Stars should be able to handle the Kraken. Yeah. And I'm picking Toronto, obviously, to beat Florida. I have to. I mean, I'm in Maple Leaf country, guys. Las Vegas Golden Knights are going to be taking on the Oilers. I'm Canadian. I went to college in Edmonton, so I'm hoping for that the Oilers can beat up the Golden Knights. So I would like to see Oilers and Stars in the conference final. That would be classic because it was always the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers in the first round for the many years, like back in the early 2000s. So that would be kind of cool if the Dallas Stars and Oilers finished up in the conference finals in the West. It would be cool if the Maple Leafs and Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers New Jersey game 7 goes tonight. So that'll wrap up tonight, and whoever comes out of that will face the Carolina. Carolina seemed to handle the Islanders fairly well, so I don't know who I'm rooting for. I think I'm rooting for Shesterkin and the Rangers to come out. I would like the Rangers to win tonight, and I would like the Rangers to beat Carolina as well, so that if the Maple Leafs play the Rangers, that's classic. That's old school hockey of the original 6, right? Yeah, so I'd like to see that. We'll have to see. Second round starts tomorrow. Just huge debacle. Because the Bruins were leading that series like 3-1, and then all of a sudden the Panthers come back to win it. It's a huge monumental collapse of epic proportions by the Bruins. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're never going to be able to live that one down. All right, that's pretty much all I got to say for today. We'll have to see how things unfold. I'm just checking my YouTube page to see if any trailers did drop that perhaps were not listed. But other than that, pay attention later on today, guys. As I said, my ranking video is going to be up on the channel later on. I don't see any new trailers listed. So it looks like we're good to go. Yeah, New Jersey and Rangers are game 7 tonight, so I'll be watching that game. Schmidt for New Jersey, right? Netminder against Shesterkin. Yeah, the names. But the Rangers have like Kreider. Yeah, I think the Rangers are going to come out with that one. We'll have to see. That's what I think. But hey, don't put money on what I say. Bet opposite, and you'll make more money. So then the Devils are going to win tonight. There you go. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy May. Happy May.